Welcome to my live, everybody. Good evening. Hope all of you are having a lovely start to the weekend. And I hope that it is clear. The screen is clear. And I was trying to do the live yesterday and also another day, but I am new to YouTube Live and therefore I was not able to log in. I think there was some technical error and I tried for 15-20 minutes. In fact, that video where I was trying also got uploaded on YouTube and I saw it later and I was very embarrassed and I deleted it. So today I'm going to tell you how to embroider the Christmas tree. This is the beginning of a series of embroideries that I will be doing in preparation for Christmas. I will show you a glimpse of what I will be doing. This is a hoop with a gingerbread man. There are some berries. There's hope written for the first advent of Christmas. There's reindeer, holly, and there are some bells. And I'm actually not even completed sketching it at the moment. I'm just sketching it as I'm going along. There are some stockings, and I would love to know what are the other things that you would like me to add on this hoop. This is like a Christmas hoop, and this can be hung on your main door. It could be hung on next to your Christmas tree with all the Christmas symbols. And so that is how it is. And now we will start with the green embroidery. Okay, I've taken a 3-number needle. I like needles which have very big eyes, as you can see. So it's easy to thread the needle. Okay, I'll show you some of the things that I use for embroidery. What I think is one of my most prized creation is this little pin cushion that I made using Hungarian embroidery design. And there is another pin cushion which is made by my mother. Okay, I think I need to lift the camera a little up so that you can see clearly. Okay, so here are all my needles pinned up in this. Okay, so it becomes easy when I'm changing the yarn in the needle, when the yarn gets over and I quickly insert the needle. I have another very tiny one. Okay, plus I have a little box with a cute little lid. You can see this, which I use to store all my extra ends of the yarns that I embroider. Okay, and it's got this little birdie kind of thing. Okay, so I store these yarns. In one of the sessions, I will tell you what I do with these yarns. I have a design idea I've collected these yarns over the years, and one day I'm going to make a piece of art and go live on YouTube when all of you will be able to see it. Okay, so those are the things. Then I will show you the yarns that are going to be used for this Christmas tree. These are the different greens and white for the snow, red for the flowers and the poinsettias. And I will also show you two of my favorite scissors that I use. This is my top favorite scissor. It's a little swan, and this is also one of my favorite scissors, which I use very regularly for snipping the yarn. Okay, I will do a separate video where I'll tell you all about the material that I use for embroidery. Okay, so I'm taking the yarn out and I will snip it. And this, all the yarns that you have, there are 6 yarns usually. I am going to be using 3 yarns. So I'm just going to separate them. Here you go. So I'm separating the yarn. Okay. And now I'm going to thread the needle. After threading the needle, I think the camera is too close. I want it at this height. So if you just give me a minute, I'm going to readjust the height of the camera because it's coming too much and I'm not able too low, and I'm not able to see. It's too much in my face. Okay. Yeah, I think that should be good. No matter how much you adjust the camera before you start the embroidery, I feel that when you actually go live, you tend to readjust it. I don't know if it happens with you when you do the live, but maybe I'm not that much of an expert in embroidering or going live. Okay. Okay, so I will show you. Oh, should I do this? This I want to do with the light green color. This I also, maybe this I could do with this color. Okay. Okay, I think that's a better focus. And it is clear as well. I would ideally like it to be this close. Okay, so that you can see clearly what I am embroidering. It will be easy for you to see the stitches. So I think we are ready to go. For all of you who joined in late, I am Ritu. I am an embroidery artist and I'm doing a series of embroideries on Christmas theme. Right now I've used 3 yarns and I'm doing the back stitch. Okay, so you take the yarn and you go back where you ended the last stitch. Then you go ahead from under the fabric, you take your needle out, you pull the entire yarn out and you go back into the place where you ended the last stitch. The tip for backstitch is that you should always make the backstitch exactly on the line which you've drawn to make the stem, and there should be no gap between over here between each stitch. Okay, if you see there is no gap. When I take the needle down, I'm very careful and I put the needle exactly at the same place where the last stitch was ended. So that way your back stitch comes out very neat. Okay, and now the leaves I'm going to make using lazy daisy stitch. Okay, so lazy daisy stitch, you start at the bottom of the leaf and you take your needle back into the same place where you've taken this yarn out, and then you take the yarn from here till the top edge of the leaf. You thread the needle and just ahead of the stitch you tuck the needle. Again over here, so this is a lazy daisy stitch. It is a variation of the chain stitch, but since it is mostly used to make the lazy daisy flower, the name, it is called the lazy daisy stitch. Okay, so that is how we do the lazy daisy stitch. So again I'm doing a lazy daisy stitch here where I am taking the yarn right at the beginning of the leaf till the end, the outer edge of the leaf, looping the yarn over and pulling the yarn, okay, from inside the loop, and then tucking it in here to secure the stitch. Again I go here, I'm trying to bring it even closer to you. I almost hit the camera and it started shaking, sorry for that. Okay, and this is the lazy daisy stitch. I've used 3 yarns. Now the trick for lazy daisy stitch is that you do not pull the yarn very tightly. Okay, when you go in and you take it out at the outer edge and then you loop the needle and you pull it here. If you pull it very tight, this entire leaf, the shape, the oval shape of the leaf will not form. If you pull it too tight, this gap will not show and will become 2 straight lines and the beauty of the stitch will go away. So that is one very important thing to remember when you make the lazy daisy stitch. Okay, so the next yarn that I'm going to use for this particular tree is the lighter green color. Okay, so I'm just going to close over here, make a loop, a knot, and then tuck it again and take my favorite scissors, snipping scissors, to trim this. Okay, now I'm taking another needle to make the next color for the lazy daisy stitch. Okay, so a lot of you ask me that suppose I took 3 yarns out and there are 3 yarns left. What do I do with them? How do I manage it? I take this yarn and I just I just rotate I just wrap it around so that I know that this is what is left over from there. Okay. And I'm going to take the white color yarn. See, I have some yarn. I think this is 2 yarns. I want 3 yarns. So I took 3 yarns and I've threaded the needle here. Okay, making a knot. This is white color, this is not off-white color, to give it a snowy effect. And this is where I want to make this long stem in the white color. Okay, I wonder why it keeps going out of focus every time I move my hand. Something that I learned over the years while embroidering is that you need to be very slow. Often you will see videos on YouTube and you feel that, oh, I can't embroider at such a high speed. Usually, to save time and to make shorter videos and to grasp attention of the viewers, normally the YouTubers, they make videos by increasing the speed of the video. All of you who want to watch this video a little faster, there is an option on the right hand side corner of your YouTube where you will be able to adjust the speed. You can either increase the speed or you can decrease the speed of the video according to how you want to see it. Okay, so here I've made the back stitch. Okay, and now I'm making the lazy daisy stitch. It's a simple stitch. It can be used in a lot of manner. You can make borders out of that. You can make like little V of the lazy daisy stitch. You can also make flower petals, as the name suggests, lazy daisy flower. I have a pattern with the lazy daisy stitch, with the lazy daisy flower and the lazy daisy stitch. And in that pattern, even the leaves are lazy daisy. So the entire embroidery is made out of using this stitch. Now this particular, when I made this particular Christmas tree, I felt that it could also go with another hoop design which would complement the Christmas tree. So therefore I made another one. If you give me a moment, I can show the pattern to you. the one which I made as a, you can also buy the pattern online as a PDF pattern. This is like a wreath and there's Noel written in the center, and I used watercolor to paint the leaf so that it's easy for you to understand the color, and I used watercolor again over here to give you a color perspective, and the PDF file for this will be included in your embroidery, okay, PDF. This is a, okay, I'll come back to the other patterns later. Let us now continue with this. So this is the lazy daisy stitch that I'm showing to you. Okay. To bring this closer. There you go. Okay, so this is the third last lazy daisy stitch for this particular live, and then I will show you next how to embroider the letter, the Christmas, and the Merry. Merry is half done, so I'll show you the Merry and then I'll show you the Christmas. I've used a different technique to embroider the letters. Okay, one more. I think I can do one more petal here, leaf here, because this place looks a little empty. So in embroidery like this, where there are so many leaves, there is no set rule that if you have sketched a particular leaf, you have to embroider it, otherwise there'll be a problem. You should never be very strict with yourself as far as embroidery design is concerned, because the more flexible you are, the more easy it is, and every hand is different. So the same pattern which is embroidered by different people will look entirely different. So if you think that what you will embroider will look exactly like how you've seen me do it, that I think it'll take you years and years and years of practice to do it. So what I would say is, don't be very harsh with yourself, be gentle, be kind to yourself, and every embroidery, every stitch is a labor of love, and that is how you should treat it. Okay, so now we are going to embroider the letter Merry and Christmas. Okay, we'll keep this yarn in the box. Even this white yarn, take it out and keep it in this box. I'll cover the box with this little birdie lid. I take out the red color. Again, I've used 3 yarns, so I'll separate the yarns. Thread the needle with the 3 yarns. Okay, make the knot. There's another way where if you don't want to make knots at the end of the embroidery, at the back of the embroidery, there's another way. So I'll just show you that in another video. Right now I'm showing you how to embroider the letters. Okay, so we do a simple back stitch to embroider the letters, and after we do the back stitch there is a variation, so keep watching to know what is the variation that I'm going to do after I do the back stitch. So there's a variation of the back stitch that I will do, which happens in 2 stages, okay, which makes your letters look very neat and very pretty. They almost look like as if they are not embroidered. When I say not embroidered, I mean that it looks as if there's a little yarn that you've just kept on top of the letters, and it looks so pretty. Okay, so I'm embroidering the C of the Merry Christmas by making back stitch. Should never pull the back stitch so much that the space in the middle becomes like a big gap. It should never be like that, because that makes it look very untidy and it makes it look as if you were too much in a hurry and you pulled the yarn. Now another very important tip that I want to give you, that when you have a sharp edge like this, make a very short length back stitch. As you see, it's a very short stitch, and then as the line becomes more smoother and the curve, it's not so curved, then I make a bigger back stitch. So on curved lines, especially where the edges are very sharp or curved, try making shorter length of the back stitch. Okay, and while you are making this, in case you feel that you're getting stuck somewhere, then feel free to leave comments and I will get back to you with some more tips. Okay, back stitch is a very versatile stitch. You can use it to make monograms, letters. You can use back stitch to give outlines. You can even use back stitch to make borders. Sometimes it is also used to fill up spaces. I think after the running stitch, back stitch is the second stitch that was invented ages ago. Backstitch is also used sometimes when you are stitching something. Suppose you are sewing two pieces of fabric together, and to give it a very secure stitch, you stitch it with the back stitch. Okay, so as you see, this is the back stitch. I made the C using the back stitch, and now I'll go back over here at the beginning, or I can just go from here so that I don't have to take the needle from here to here from underneath. And I come out from here, I pull my needle from under one of the back stitch, and then I go under the next back stitch from the same direction. Then I go under the third back stitch from the same direction. Okay. Now I'm a right-handed person, so it becomes a little difficult for me to bring the needle from the left to the right. So I take it from the right to the left. Again, I take it. So this stitch is called the whipped back stitch. So I'm whipping the back stitch with the yarn after I do the back stitch, to give it a very nice, straight, clean look to the embroidering the letters. This is something I love doing. It is one of my favorite embroideries. I love embroidering letters. Do let me know if any of you have ever embroidered a letter before, or a word, or a quotation. As a kid, I used to do a lot of cross stitch, which I think I have not done. One of these days I'm going to pick up cross stitch. Okay. And when I had a school friend's birthday, I would write their name using cross stitch on a napkin, and that would be my gift to them for their birthday. I have always liked to do, even as a kid, I always liked to give very personalized gifts, so that people remember me and people use it, and the utility of the gift is so important to me. Okay, so this is the C, and I'm going to end the letter embroidery here, and then I'll show you how to embroider one of the poinsettia flowers. Okay, so I'll end this here. Knot the yarn, and I take the center of the flower and I make a lazy daisy stitch. So I've made the poinsettia with 5 petals. Okay. Okay. What is the time of the day or the week when you would like me to embroider? If you leave it in the comments, it'll be so much nicer for me to know that when most of you are free, because all my patrons, my members on my Patreon, I would love you to tell me where would you like, when would you like, not where, when would you like me to do my lives for you, so that, because I look at the EST time, but if most of you are from the Western Coast, then I can do it from the Western time. And if there is a particular time in over the weekend where you think that you would like to see or watch my lives, and you can tell me. And if you want this pattern, then you can avail this pattern if you become a member on my Patreon. I will be leaving the link in the description to become a member. Okay, so this is like a little bow that I've made, and I'll give the bow two ribbon hangings. Okay, so one can be a little longer, the other can be a little shorter. Okay, and I'll show you. Let me show you some French knots. Okay, so you take the yarn out like this. Okay, you wrap the needle once, you wrap the needle twice, and then you wrap the needle thrice, and you go back next, just next, like 1 millimeter or 1 yarn away from the place where you brought the thread out. Keep holding this from your left hand, okay, and push the needle down. Now go under the fabric and don't leave this till the entire yarn goes in, otherwise your French knot gets punched up and it's not neat. That's the tip and the trick of the French knot. So I'll just show it to you again. You hold it with your left hand, you wrap the needle once, twice and thrice, and you go back next to the place where you took the yarn out, and then you gently let the yarn go in. Okay, one last time, 1, 2 and 3, then you go back. Okay, is that clear? Lovely. So okay, I will be doing a live again tomorrow at 7:30 EST on YouTube, and I will show you how to make the bark of the Christmas tree. I'll use glitter yarn to embroider the star, and I'll do some little ornamentation. Until then, have a lovely Saturday evening to all of you. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining, and I will look forward to, and after the tree is over, I will start with, I'll just show you for those of you who were not there in the beginning, that I'm going to do the embroidery for this hoop, which I want to place on the front door of my kitchen this Christmas. Okay, so I'll be starting my embroidery hoop with the gingerbread man. Until then, till I meet you tomorrow, I'm going to add some more. If there are any suggestions of what are the other designs which are Christmas related, which you would like me to add to this hoop, then please let me know in the comments, and I would love to share. and I can also give you a shout out on my Instagram page, and I'll give you a link of my Instagram page so you can always follow me for all the latest that is happening with me. And don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, follow, and press the bell icon so that you know when I'm going to come live next. Okay, bye bye. Love you. Thank you. Bye bye.